All right, let's dive right into this. Welcome to our latest explainer. Today, we're taking on the case of the draining laptop. We are going to track down the hidden culprits behind your vanishing Windows 11 battery and, more importantly, equip you with the exact tools you need to solve this mystery. Because, let's be real, if you've ever felt like your battery percentage is just dropping off a cliff for absolutely no reason, you are definitely in the right place.
Now, picture this incredibly common scenario. You close your laptop lid at the end of the day, you've got plenty of charge left, you're feeling good about tomorrow. But then you wake up, open it, and completely dead. It's infuriating, right? Why on earth does your laptop literally die in its sleep? This universal pain point was summed up perfectly by a totally frustrated user on a Microsoft support forum. They were looking into their brand new laptop, and they noted that it drained from 30% all the way down to 5% overnight, while seemingly doing absolutely nothing. I mean, 30 to 5. Clearly, there is a lot happening behind that black screen. So, here is our agenda for today. First, the battery drain mystery, then the modern standby problem. After that, we'll cover stopping background battery thieves, running diagnostic reports, quick power-saving wins, and finally, long-term battery care. Let's get to it. Section 1. The battery drain mystery, uncovering the invisible culprits. So, before we start aggressively changing settings, we need to examine the scene of the crime. What is actually stealing your power? Well, we've got some common suspects here. High screen brightness and outdated graphics or chipset drivers are super obvious ones. But honestly, the most notorious power thieves, they're usually invisible software processes, background apps, wireless activity, or the Windows search indexer, all running quietly in the background. Oh, and of course, plain old hardware battery degradation. Moving to Section 2, the modern standby problem, the laptop that never truly sleeps. Okay, so one of the biggest shifts in Windows power management lately is a feature designed to make your PC act way more like your smartphone. It's called modern standby, or technically S0 low power idle. It allows a device to wake instantly and maintain an active network connection to perform background updates while the screen is off. Now, it's incredibly convenient if you want to get emails while your laptop is closed, but it fundamentally changes what sleep actually means for a computer. Look at this comparison. It tells you exactly why your laptop might be running hot and losing charge while just sitting in your backpack. Traditional S3 sleep is a deep sleep state. Hardware components are powered down, it disconnects from the network, giving you maximum power preservation. But modern standby, S0, it's a semi-active state. It maintains a network connection and does continuous background updates. And because of that, it is highly prone to generating heat and, you guessed it, draining your battery. Section 3. Stopping background battery thieves. Silencing the silent power drainers. If your machine is constantly awake, we need to meticulously lock down exactly which applications are actually allowed to use your system resources. If you go into the battery usage settings in Windows 11, you can audit your apps. Setting background activity to Always gives an app unrestricted syncing and notifications, but the battery impact is high, really high. Instead, you'll want to switch them to Power Optimized, where Windows smartly manages updates to save power for a moderate impact. Or even better, set it to Never, which completely pauses the app when not in use for maximum savings. Now here's a massive number for you, 400,000. The Windows Search Indexer is another background service that can absolutely decimate your battery. Its entire job is to constantly scan files to make them searchable. And to give you a real sense of scale here, performance issues and massive battery drains typically start occurring if it is indexing over 400,000 items on your hard drive. That's a huge workload running silently behind the scenes. And because the indexer routinely just ignores your power settings, sometimes you literally have to manually disable it to reclaim your processing power and battery life. It's actually pretty simple. You press the Windows key plus R, type services.msc, locate Windows Search in the list, right-click, open Properties, click Stop, and then change the startup type to Disabled. Section 4. Running diagnostic reports. Interrogating your system via command line. To truly solve this mystery, we've got to interrogate the system directly, using some built-in diagnostic tools that honestly most users don't even know exist. You open your command prompt as an administrator and type this simple text command, powercfg/battery report, and press enter. Then open the generated HTML file in your web browser. Boom! You instantly get a highly detailed map of the exact health and history of your physical battery. When you are analyzing that report, the big thing to look for is the comparison between the design capacity, which is the original amount of charge your battery could hold when it left the factory, versus the full charge capacity, which is the maximum amount it can physically hold right now. This instantly reveals how much your battery has degraded. If what it holds right now is way lower than the factory capacity, well, you've found a hardware culprit.
You'll also want to check out your cycle count in that report. Cycle counts basically measure complete battery discharges, and a normal lithium-ion laptop battery is going to show significant wear and require replacement after about 300 to 500 cycles. So if your cycle count is pushing past 500 and your full charge capacity has plummeted, actually, there is no software fix that's going to save you. It is just straight up time for new hardware. Now to expand our diagnostic toolkit even further, especially for tracking that annoying overnight power loss, we can run a sleep study. Think of it like a surveillance camera for your PC. Open the command prompt as an administrator again, type powercfg/sleep study and press enter. You can then review this HTML report to see exactly which background tasks, apps, or devices kept your processor awake when you thought it was peacefully sleeping. All right, Section 5, quick power-saving wins. Immediate actionable fixes. With our main suspects identified, let's look at the absolute fastest ways to lock down your system's power consumption. First, apply all the energy recommendations in your system settings. Windows 11 actually groups the most effective fixes right there for you. You also want to enable Energy Saver to trigger automatically at 20%. Then, lower that screen brightness, disable HDR, turn off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi when you don't really need them, and use Task Manager to disable unnecessary startup programs. But you know what's crazy? Sometimes Windows itself isn't even the problem. Even when fully shut down, some machines silently drain power by keeping their USB ports live. They basically act like a massive power bank for any connected devices without you even knowing it. You actually have to check your BIOS or UEFI settings and manually disable features like charge and battery mode or always on USB to put a stop to this. Section 6, long-term battery care, preserving your hardware lifespan. Finally, we really need to talk about a long-term care routine to protect those physical lithium-ion cells from premature aging. And here is the golden rule. Keep your charge level consistently between 20 and 80%. You absolutely want to avoid the extreme stress of deep, total discharges whenever you can. And remember, heat is literally the enemy here. Leaving your laptop baking in a hot car or storing it away for months with a completely empty battery, that will trigger chemical degradation and permanently shrink its overall capacity. So avoid high temperatures, keep it cool, and if you are storing the laptop for a while, make sure you keep the battery charged to right around 40 to 60% in a cool, dry place. So, by understanding these hidden Windows mechanics and locking down your settings, you've solved the mystery of the draining battery. But it does kind of leave you wondering, doesn't it? Now that your laptop is secure, what other invisible processes are secretly running in the background, draining your digital life? Something to think about. Keep asking questions, keep digging, and I'll see you in the next explainer.